Hello, everyone. Welcome into the DLLS Cowboys podcast on the day after they whooped the Raiders, and things look good around here. Let's talk about your Cowboys. Meow. Cowboys are 1-0. It's Quinnen Williams, which if that holds up, 7 more of those, cruise into the postseason and see what happens. Welcome in, everybody. It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast on a Tuesday. Mash the like button on your way in, why don't you? I dare you. I sure would appreciate it. I'm rocking my 88 Club shirt because the 3 Club shirt hadn't come in yet. But when it gets here, I'm going to be rocking that bad boy. Rocking that bad boy. It's going to be nice. Welcome in, everybody. Let's have a Cowboys party. My name is Jeff. I am next to former Cowboy wide receiver Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
He's next to the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys that's in this room, Mr. Ali Jawad. Well, that's good, right?
We're good. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I brought my tennis shoes, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Just if you want to go 40. You want to go 40 yards today?
My Kobe's?
Yeah. You running them?
I don't want to mess them up, but.
Oh, okay. We can barefoot
Take them off. Old
you
school.
barefoot it? Okay.
Old
barefoot
school.
it. It's no problem.
Barefoot it then.
It's no problem.
Ain't no
Ain't
problem.
We'll barefoot
no
it.
problem.
We can barefoot it.
I wrote down for segment 1 of the broadcast today, man. Did you like that?
Little Kirk Cousins.
That's what I wrote down.
Did you like that?
Did you like that? We'll talk about all the new guys, new or returning guys for your Cowboys and what they all individually meant. We'll tote that thing in the 3rd segment. We'll do a little That's What He Said in the 4th, which leaves us with the 1st segment where I ask you the question. Did you like that?
I did. All around. When you start talking about getting all 3 phases of the game playing well, offense, defense, and special teams, and you can even add a 4th phase in there, coaching. When you get all that rolling, and I know people are going to say, it was just the Raiders. And granted, 2 things can be true.
Hey, it'd be a lot worse if they lost to the Raiders.
Right? Like 2 things can be true. But this is what you want to see against a team that you're better than. I want to see you physically dominate teams that you are better than. And the Cowboys came out last night, and they physically dominated in the trenches a team that they were better than. Offensively, they did it. Defensively, they did it. And we'll get more into the addition of it all. But yes, I did like what I saw. I wanted this team to come out coming off of a bye. And I know the situation that, happened during the bye wasn't one that was that anyone wanted. But to see a group lock back in, focus on the matter at hand, understand that this game is as important as any other game that you have to play. To get this thing rolling, honor Marshawn Nealon in that. But you saw this team come out and play with the level of energy and an excitement that honestly we hadn't seen in a couple weeks. It was kind of doom and gloom the last couple of weeks. And the Cowboys came out last night. You seen flash, you seen flare, you seen excitement, you see well orchestrated. You seen a team that looked like they knew what the hell they were doing on both sides of the ball. So yes, to answer the question, I did. I thoroughly liked what I saw last night from the Cowboys.
Ali, did you like that?
Very much liked what we saw last night for this team. Just a great dominant win. Like you said, all 3 phases there were intact. They took good care of the football. They made the big plays. This new look defense really stepped up and did their part. But, as you mentioned, they had, a lot going on, in the last couple of weeks with Marshawn Nealon and all that. And I think the way they came out and they honored him and knowing that they're playing for him and his impact, everything he, meant to them. They had a lot to respond to, a lot of adversity, a lot of, the situation going on, all that stuff. And I felt they handled it really well. And this is what you want to see, obviously, moving forward. I mean, I get it's the Raiders. I get the competition coming up is tougher. But if you can replicate a lot of these things that you saw last night into the coming games, not saying they go and win out all these games, but at least you give yourself a fighting chance moving forward.
And honestly, the Eagles aren't much better. So I feel like it's a pretty similar matchup.
Already starting this?
Yeah, pretty similar. I mean, short week, but a pretty similar.
Only 5 minutes?
Pretty similar matchup coming up on Sunday. I think you played a better quarterback last night than you're.
No, you didn't.
Than you're going to see on Sunday.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, their O-line might be a little better. Their defense probably a little better.
A little,
but you're going to see a not a very good team on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that one. We did get the full George Pickens experience, which is great.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb, who I don't think has ever been suspended by the team for a minute. But he and George Pickens were watching the first drive of the game like, how come they're not playing their best players and CeeDee and George aren't out there? And still all we know is they, quote, miss some stuff.
Miss some stuff.
AKA probably curfew. There's a lot of recky-specky on the internet of places that one or both of your receivers might have been spotted in the evening or in the wee hours of the morning. But they clearly got enough shut-eye to combine for 220 and a couple of tutties or whatever. So we got the full George Pickens experience of, that's about as physically dominant a receiver as there is in this game. Yep, he might have took CeeDee with him and got them both in some trouble. Yep, got a 15-yard penalty after he scored with a great celebration. We got the full experience, and I'm going to need that full experience for about 3 more years.
And you know what I love? Like, because sometimes you have to just accept people for who they are and love them for who they are.
Just him.
They've just come to the point in time. They're just like, you know what? This is George. Like, this is George. And Shotty's alluded to it before. He's like, when people ask him, like, well, what did you hear about George from the people in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
And it was like, well, he going to miss a couple things. He going to be late to a couple things. He said, like he might be late to a couple things. And I think I've tried to tell people this many times before. And though you guys haven't been in those locker rooms, you've been around the locker room. And it's not just a Cowboy thing. It's a professional sport thing. Anytime you have a player of that level of talent, you're gonna deal with a little bit. You're gonna have to deal with a little bit of stuff. What you hope is the productivity is very high, and that the stuff is manageable, minimal stuff, right? Like, I don't want domestic violence, arrested stuff. I don't want cops involved stuff. But if it's
no blackjack,
if it's a little, you're late to a meeting.
Yeah,
he might have missed curfew. Maybe the bus had to wait a tad bit longer for this said player. Like, that stuff, that's in-house minimal stuff. As long as the league doesn't have to get involved.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's the stuff that you don't like. Now, that level of distraction, you don't want that. That's bad.
Yeah.
But a little bit of, you're gonna deal with that. I'm sorry. You're in this league, professional league, baseball, basketball, hockey, football. You're going to deal with the little bit of tardiness here and there from your star player. And they've known that about George. And they're just like, hey, listen, George is going to get his 15 every now and again. George is going to be a little late to something. But if you go 7 for 144 in a tutty,
it's all good, huh?
Could have been 8 and 165 if he played that first drive.
Could have been.
Maybe 9 for 180.
I remember I remember when the great Bill Parcells and the great Bill Belichick. And Bill Parcells at this time Bill Belichick at the time is the defensive coordinator for the great Bill Parcells. And you know who his star player was?
Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence
Taylor.
And he kept saying, Bill Belichick kept coming to Bill Parcells and is like, hey, man, like, LT is showing up late to all these meetings, man. And Bill Parcells like, start the meeting later. He's like, what do you want me to do? Like, he's like, what? Because Bill Belichick's trying to figure out, like, what's the discipline I can do? He's like, start the meetings later.
Yep.
Like, he's not going to play. So whatever it is, he's coming into these meetings, start him a little later. He'll figure it out. But he's playing on Sunday. He's not going to be on the field.
So what you're saying is that Shotty is a better disciplinarian than Bill Parcells was, because he held those men accountable for that one drive. If we lost this game by 2, I'd been mad at Shotty. I've been super mad at Shotty. And yes, I did notice in the chat early on in the show here, we are still the #1 podcast for Eagle fans.
Are they still here?
If you needed more evidence that that's a team falling apart, boy, they got a lot of thoughts in their mind about a 4-5-1 team. You know, so that's just a.
I don't know if it was AI or not, but there's a picture of Brandon Graham sitting at the courtside of the Phillies Clippers game, and he has a hat on. Cowboy star on it, and it has like
the wrong emoji, whatever.
Yeah, like you X'd out.
Crossing or X'ing out. Yeah.
Like, so he not only is that an Eagles player who's in first place and a defending champion, he was also retired, and now he's back, and he can't stop thinking about this team. If that doesn't let you know that they know what's about to happen. They're trying to talk themselves into something.
An epic collapse.
They know what's about to happen.
They know.
They know they're about to lose by 30.
They know.
I asked Jesse what I think is the most important question of the football season last night. I don't think it was on the air, though. When A.J. Brown punches Jalen Hurts in the face, will Jalen press charges? I think is my big question of the year.
You had a great response to that.
Press charges.
But if you got money,
you press charges.
Press charges.
Anybody that has money that punches me, you press charges.
Okay, yeah.
So if AJ punches him, press charges. Nice. I'm pressing charges on rich people.
Let's hit these super chats, shall we? Got a couple. Edwards in there. He said, Jeff, fiance and I are traveling from Philly and going to the game this weekend. Best dive bars to go to. Drinks on me if we run into you at one. We got Mike's Gemini Twin where they have the Wagyu hot dogs on a roller behind the bar. That's nice. And they got little bags of chips if you need them as well. One Nasty is my karaoke bar. One Nostalgia Tavern, of course. What are the other dive bars that I'm still hitting up? Cosmos, Milo Butterfingers. They just redid the inside. Barley House, not bad. I'll have to think on it. I'll get back to you.
They closed that other place that you used to go to?
Which one?
The one on Greenville Ave.
OT?
Yeah, OT.
They
closed it.
Yeah,
they shut that down?
Has some stuff.
Oh, really?
Okay.
A lot of the vibes type stuff going on.
Oh.
Yeah. Had a little had some stuff.
They had good pizza in.
They did.
They had good pizza in there.
They really did.
They had good pizza in there.
Mr. Johnson's in the super chat, and that's a 50 bomb. He said, God bless me.
Oh, here we go.
God blessed me with a huge promotion in my nuclear project management career. So wanted to support you guys and the Cowboys. Let's see if we can maybe run the table. So Mr. Johnson is now in charge of the nukes.
The nukes.
He is now in charge
project management nuclear.
He is now in charge of the nukes.
That's a black man too. That's a black man.
Don't hit the button.
That's a black man, baby.
Please
Mr.
push
Johnson,
the right buttons.
Don't hit the button.
Just push the right button.
That's a black man in charge right there, man, with the nuclear project management career. God bless you, Mr. Johnson.
Make sure them suckers are pointed the right way.
Yeah.
King Tyler is in the super chat. Couldn't believe I saw 5+ pass breakups. Can't wait to terrorize Jalen Hurts and watch A.J. Brown crash out. Okay. That's two crash outs. Oh, 2 crash outs. And I can see it. One early, one mid to late third quarter when the game's getting away from them. And it's probably like at that point, 27-6 Cowboys, maybe 5. 27-5.
Right. I like your vibe.
Because, the Eagles will need the defense to score if they're going to have a chance because they don't have a quarterback. And it's just a tough way to win in this league. I know they've won a championship with that bad quarterback, but it is tough to do. But if they get to 3rd and 2, they're in good shape because they can run the only play they have, which is push our quarterback as far as we can.
Do we have are we the best equipped defensive line right now to stop the tush push?
Probably.
When you have Osa. If you went Osa, Kenny, and Quinnen.
And this week, and Solomon Thomas will be
if he comes back,
could be one of your
back,
ends, and then Clowney. You put those 5 down.
I'm running that Clowney. Them legs a little.
Well, but that would mean Jalen Hurts would have to travel across a little bit, and he's actually not very fast. In addition to being a bad passer.
I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna see. Do we have the best defensive line that's equipped to stop that?
Will the refs be on our side when that happens?
I hope that the refs are like me, where there is a part of my football brain where I say, look, it's about as pure as football gets. We're just smashing into each other and trying to move forward, so there's no reason to ban it. But literally every play on one of the teams, there is a penalty, whether it's called or not. And so it has gotten to a goofy point. I don't know how you really rule it out, though, Because if you take that out, are we going to start blowing the whistle when people are pushing people when it's not a tush push? The receiver runs a slant and he gets caught at the 2, and now here comes the whole team. Rah! How do you write a rule that says you can't push your quarterback if we're allowed to push people? We might have to change everything.
You coming off your stance because you were stark against.
I'm against the tush push because we have a guy who there's going to be people who talk about the Hall of Fame for a bad NFL quarterback because his team has won because he can go hut and go while his teammates go yeah, and like they won a championship because all they got to do is get to 3rd and 2. That's all they got to do is get to 3rd and 2.
They didn't win a championship because of the tush push.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, that's how they
What about the forward pass? If people won a championship because of the forward pass.
The forward pass is a trick play for Philly.
What about
our flea flicker
had a lot of big plays.
Them running a slant.
Hey, Cooper DeJean had a pick 6 in the game too.
See? When Philly runs a slant, that's the Cowboys running a double pass. Like they drop back to pass, and the opposing team's defense goes, what? And still, if you can make a move past the first read, they're dead. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, let's go through each of the guys that are either new here or were returning and the impacts they had. It's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
My good friends at Monarch, don't let the financial opportunities slip through your crack. Because this is one. This is
I'd
a
like
really.
to apologize to Monarch.
Uh-oh.
I know.
What happened?
I know because I can see all my stuff now.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing wrong.
You're wilding.
And I apologize.
You're wild. Use the promo code DLLS at monarch.com to get 50% off your first year at monarch.com by simply using this promo code DLLS. And, you might ask yourself, well, what does Monarch do? Well, it maximizes investments, increases your saving rate, easily reviewing finances with your partner and or financial advisor, keeping clear views of your financial health week to week and long term. You could do it on your laptop. You could do it on your iPad. You could do it on your cell phone. It's just your financial command center. It gets you right in your financial area. We don't want to see homes broken up. We don't want to see you out in the street. So hit up Monarch and use the promo code DLLS to get 50% off your first year with Monarch.
Yeah, and the guys at Monarch, they don't mind you spending some money at branded bills. I'll tell you that right now because you get 15% off when you use the code BBDLLS at branded bills. And the Monarch app, I think, would just light up and be like, you got a discount? That's responsible spending. That's what I'm talking about. Why don't you go ahead and buy you 13 more hats? That's what I would do. And it's not just hats. They got other gear, too. They got I got a few of their T-shirts that I think are real nice. But if you're looking for a snapback, this is a snapback from Branded Bills. I'm starting to wear it out. It's getting a little dirty on me. I might have to get me another one. Probably get about 4 different colors out of it.
They got Scully's hats.
They got beanies. I call it a beanie.
Called Scully.
Yeah, they got those. I don't know if they have shiesties.
I don't want to.
I don't know if they have that. But all sorts of T-shirts, all sorts of different hats. They got you covered. Custom stuff. They can do that. They got partnerships with a bunch of colleges. You can get those. Head to brandedbills.com and use the code BBDLLS for 15% off on your first order. It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast. So we had some new people take the field for the Cowboys. We had some returning people take the field for the Cowboys, and I think we could just spend a little bit of time with each one of them. Please hit the like button while you're here. The Cowboys won for crying out loud. In the chat, what's a random thing they could leave in the chat? What's your favorite animal?
Oh, we did it last night. I don't think
What animal?
If your name had to be
color and
a color and then an animal,
yeah,
what would your name be? Because we were talking about Red Panda.
Yeah, Red Panda.
I immediately thought like Black Panther is like the best name probably. I don't know if you can come up with a better one. But a color and an animal, what would your name be? And what would be the name of your favorite cowboy if that was how you had to describe them? Be careful with that one, though.
Ooh.
You had to be careful with that one. Wow. Because like Quinnen Williams, right?
Mm.
Very big, very strong.
Mm.
But you still have to be careful with which animal you pick, I think.
Just stay away from.
Could be construed.
Just stay away from anybody that's black.
Yeah.
And anything in the primate.
Right. Because like Quinnen Williams, if you were to say like, I'd say freaking silverback.
Right.
Like somebody might be like, hold on, man.
Hold on.
And so just be careful.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And I think he's the first guy we have to talk about. Quinnen Williams, standard disclaimer, it was the Raiders. But the Cowboys have played some Raider-type teams and gotten beat by them. Yeah. So, like, it was the Raiders, but suddenly everyone on your defense is way better at football? Boy, that's interesting.
Go figure. You put really good players on a defense and other guys around them.
Look what happens.
Are raised up. Yeah, you get pressures up. The sacks are up. The time, the pressure. All this that you're talking about. This didn't happen a week ago. This didn't happen 2 weeks ago.
No, it was not all good just a week ago.
It wasn't. When Quinnen was in Jersey, this wasn't happening. We were looking at a defense, and we were talking about these very same players. The one name that we talked about on defense that had a positive spin to it and that was growing was Donovan Ezeraku. That was the one name that we were like, all right, no matter what, Donovan Ezeraku is starting to kind of find his way in this league. And then you inserted Quinnen Williams. And yes, it is the Raiders. Yes, that offensive line is bad. It's devoid of talent. It's devoid of good players because they're hurt. But as you start to watch things unfold and, after the game last night, I get home and I'm always wired after we do our pregame show. I'm just, what I'm saying? And adrenaline's up. So I'll just put the replay back on the game, whatever the game
you're
is.
A psycho.
I just let it play until I fall asleep.
You're a psycho.
I sleep with the TV on. I just let it play.
Oh, double psycho.
You know what I'm saying?
Does that watch track your sleep?
I don't think so.
Because it's going to tell you you're not getting good sleep.
Oh, I get good sleep.
You're not getting good sleep. Not with that TV.
No, my REM is good.
You get the volume way down at least?
Huh?
You get the volume way down at least?
About 12.
Damn.
12 on the volume. About 10, 11, 12.
I used to do that. I guess I can't judge.
Yeah, about 10, 11, 12 on the volume. But the one thing that stood out to me, of course, you think about Quinnen Williams and, he's 300 plus pounds, right?
Yeah,
so you look at him and the sheer physical human size of him, you're like, all right, that stands out. Then you see the way that he moves. He's not a big, fat, sloppy, uncoordinated dude.
He got a little bit of belly.
No,
but it's a good belly.
He showed it on the camera.
It's not a bad
He got
belly.
good
Showed it
girth.
last night.
He got the girth.
He ain't Tyron, Tyron was out there with
special.
a 12 pack.
That's a whole different. That's an animal. That's a whole.
I was so impressed by his hands. Like, I was so impressed just the way, like, his hand-to-hand combat, and what I mean by that,
Like a silverback, right?
No, not like a silverback. More like E Honda.
Oh, what, is that like Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I mean more like quick hands like E Honda, right? Like his ability, when you watch him rush, hand placement is everything. And then when the offensive linemen try to punch, try to punch. Like,
no,
like, not punch me, but
no.
like shoot your hand. I swear I'm not going to be
because
physical.
you hit hard.
I'm not. All right. But like when you see him, like he starts to do this stuff like this, and he'll raise up, and then
I got a bad shoulder.
And then now he's like, you have no leverage.
Yeah.
He's using that. He's getting hands down. He's over under and he's swiping. He's even kind of dipping and ripping. He's doing a lot of different things from the interior position.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the most impressive things to me when I watched Quinnen. And we were watching the tape earlier this morning, but just watching him more and more, man, he's quick, he's physical, but his hand-to-hand combat, I think, is going to be one that's really good.
Yeah, just the way he was pushing guys too. There was that, I forgot which play it was. It was in the fourth quarter. Like Vaj pointed out, like right off the snap, you just see him push. I think it was the center, or whatever, like a couple yards back, right out. One of them, yeah. But I mean, just to have that alone is huge. And, for this whole defense, you plug in Quinnen Williams in his first game, and, they have a 55.1% pass rush win rate. They generate 16 total pressures, 4 sacks. Obviously, one of their best performances of the year. Quinnen himself last night finished with 1.5 sacks, 7 total pressures, 21.4% pass rush win rate. Just having that impact, I mean, it feels good to have a guy that can do.
Yeah,
we once had a guy like that. Now he's, the owner got all emotional. But yeah, we don't talk about the,
He's a bum anyway. He ain't helping nobody. Jerry took a shot again. I don't remember if it was last night or this morning. But like you talking about Max Crosby, he's like, now that's an impact guy on the edge.
I'm surprised because James Houston had another sack last night. I'm surprised he didn't come out and say, see that? We don't need that other guy because we got this guy right here.
Jeremy wants to know, did Vach name his price on getting a headset during the watch-alongs? Not sure what that price is yet, but if you do want to watch the game that already happened with us, it is on YouTube. We had a watch-along while we were watching. A lot of people didn't like it because there's a lot of time to fill, and you may not end up talking about football all the time, especially during commercial breaks. But yeah, having a guy that lines up and you know that the guy across from him can't handle him, that's a good feeling. And I went and looked this morning. You mentioned the total pressure numbers.
Correct.
The guy who led the Cowboys in pressures in that game, Osa Odigizua with 8. Do you think he ever saw 2 blockers?
No.
Quinnen Williams had 7. and he saw plenty of blockers. What he's doing already for Osa, what he's doing for Kenny, like Kenny Clark looked rejuvenated. Ezraku let you down last night.
He did.
You were looking for 2 sacks. You got a couple of pressures.
I'll get 4.
But you didn't get 2 sacks.
I'll get 4 this week.
Because Quinnen and Osa and Kenny were beating him there. So, yeah, he's going to have some ground to make up. But what he does for Clowney, who had 6 pressures, like everybody gets to eat because that guy exists. And despite the fact that he's the guy they're focusing on, he still kicks their butt. Quinnen Williams is awesome, and he's going to do a ton for you. Now, there is a different guy I want to mention. We should probably go in order of the names that people care about, right? We should go Overshown next.
Yep.
DeMarvion Overshown is back. I have a great quote from DeMarvion Overshown that we'll do in our 4th segment today, so here in about 20 minutes, about the game that he played. And it's like, did DeMarvion Overshown go out there and have a gigantic impact on the game? No. And when I was watching this morning, all I wanted to see is, can I watch this and see glimpses of the guy he was in terms of the athlete? Because that's what you need. That explosive acceleration, speed, agility, those things. Because we did blow out 3 ligaments in a knee and then have to take a mallet and knock some screws out of a different knee to take a piece of that patella to put it in here to rebuild the AC. We had to do a lot. And I will say there were glimpses. There were plays where what I'm watching is how does he move? I'm going this way, now I'm going that way. I'm going this way, and now somebody went that way, and I've got to turn this corner. There were glimpses of it to where you can convince me that he can be that player. He didn't make a bunch of giant plays in this game, and I'm totally cool with that. It's been a long time since he played football.
Yeah.
But he didn't look out of place, and I saw glimpses of the athlete that you lost when he got hurt. And so I am satisfied with what you saw from DeMarvion Overshown.
I am too. My expectations wasn't very high for him coming into this game because it was 343 days since he's played a football game.
Right.
A lot of days.
That's a lot of time away from the field. I knew that he was super excited to get back on the field. We had all heard behind the scenes just how much he worked at getting back. The article is out there. You watched him every single day at training camp and at practices. He's locked in. He's engaged. He has practice plans in his hands. He's right next to the coaches. Like, he's doing everything he could to get himself in position. And last night was just, as Clarence would say, he was knocking the dust off. Yeah. Right? He was knocking the dust off of it. And he
or the rust.
Or the rust, or the dust.
Or the must.
Or the
crust.
Tusk.
Yep.
Yeah. And so for me, it was good to see him out there. It was good to see him run around. And for him just to have the pads banging a little bit, to be out there recognizing plays. There was one play where they ran a bootleg and everyone went right and come back left. And he was like, oh, got to turn back around.
Yep.
But
opening quarter,
that's what you wanted. You wanted to see him come out there, get his feet wet again, get a feel of the game. And now he has to start getting his timing down. That's what it's all going to come down to. It's going to get the timing down. They're still going to get the belief down that I can put this foot in the ground and go forward. What is it like to have to cover someone in space? They had the one swing out pass to Ashton Genty, and Ashton Genty, I don't think he want to play football anymore because he catches the ball. The
Raiders have taken his.
He sees Overshown, and I love it because he comes up what he's doing. He breaks down, and Genty goes, I'm just going to run it back. And he just is like, I'm not
going to try to go through you. I'm not going to try to cut back inside. Right. It's just me and you, but I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm just going to go out of bounds.
So it's good to see him out there.
Yeah, no, and I know we just talked about Quinnen and his impact, and like it's just perfect timing to have a guy like that on your defense because you kind of feel like it takes pressure off guys like Overshown and have to go out there and like, all right, I got to be this guy. But no, we got Quinnen. He's impacting everybody else. Allows a guy like that to ease back into it. I think we said about 30 snaps is what he was going to play. He played 29
Overshown
total.
had 31.
31. I'm looking at NFL Pro 29. So we were pretty much spot on around that range that he was going to play there last night. But now moving forward, obviously you want to see this gradually build up and him continuing to try and find that rhythm and make that impact. But again, just having the presence of Quinnen there is certainly going to help out a guy like that.
I'll do one real fast here. Logan Wilson played 34 snaps. Him and Kenneth Murray were kind of alternating out there. And I would say that Logan Wilson, much like everybody else, I think he benefited from the existence of Quinnen Williams. Right. Like you can't look at a guy that played linebacker in this game and say he played awful. And I think a big part of that is, boy, it's much easier when the offensive line isn't in your lap and you get to play the game of, where's the ball? I get to run to it clean? Well, that's fun. And I think Logan Wilson, I would say he looked fine.
Right.
Excuse me. I do think still that he is an upgrade for you at middle linebacker. If you want to just play him every play, I think that you can trust him more in the coverage part of the game. But shout out to Kenneth Murray for the play that he did make in coverage that led to an interception.
Oh, tips and overthrows.
But I do think that Logan Wilson gives you a more consistent player in that regard. And that, again, somewhere between fine and good. Logan Wilson was somewhere between fine and good. The one guy that I have not gotten to, I'm just going to save him for Tote That Thing, and I'm going to use him there. Okay?
Right.
So we're going to Tote That Thing. What did you see from the Cowboys that you'd like to see them carry forward into this game against the Eagles? It could be playing solid defense against a terrible quarterback. You know, you want to tote that forward to a game against a really bad quarterback that's coming up. But we'll hit the like button for crying out loud. We're not 100. The Cowboys just beat the Raiders by 100. We're back on track and trying to win the Super Bowl, and we don't have 100 likes. It's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
Boy, let me tell you about my people at Shady Rays right now.
Let them know.
Money in the bag.
Let them know.
You can get a pair of polarized sunglasses. You can get 35% off right now if you use the promo code DLLS35. If you ever been like me, where you start doing this, you start patting around, looking around and saying, where's my sunglasses? Or you've left them at, the roof of your car or at a party or at a friend's house or at a gas station 3 states over. Don't worry about that because Shady Rays has changed the game. Their sunglasses are made for real life, real serious, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. But if you happen to lose them or break them, then Shady Rays can get you a new pair for free. Just reach out to them, go through all the steps, and get you a new pair. And I don't know where you guys are at right now in this world watching this, but in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, where I'm at, it's still 85 degrees outside. It's still beautiful outside. So those Shady Rays are coming in full tote. All right, so head on over to shadyrays.com. Use the promo code DLS35 and get 35% off a pair of polarized sunglasses today.
Shout out to our friends at Arena Club. If you're ready to level up your collection or get started trading cards, our friends at Arena Club, they make it easy to chase grails, flip slabs, and keep your collection growing with the cards that you love. Arena Club's flipped kind of the whole trading card cycle on its head. Instead of buying a box, ripping open these packs, then you pull a few cards that you're like, oh, these ones might be valuable. You ship them off for them to get graded. Weeks later, you kind of get them back. And then it's like, okay, now what do I want to do with these bad boys? At Arena Club, they do all of this on their digital platform. And then you see what you've got, and they offer, would you like this much money? Would you like us to ship that card to you already certified? How would you like to handle this? That's what they do at Arena Club. And right now you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/DLLS and use the code DLLS. It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and I see my buddy Daniel Potter in the chat there. And if Facebook didn't lie to me, happy birthday, Daniel. I'd like to tell you that. And one of these days, I'm going to get with you for the tombstone gift that you got me. You got me a gift. I just hadn't caught up with him yet.
Okay.
To scoop that up from him. You need the football, huh? I'll see you in a second. Excuse me.
There's a football right over there. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
I won a football at Dave & Buster's, but it was a cheapie. And where the air goes in, I stuck the pump in, and it just pushed that whole button. So we threw that one away. But I did get 2,200 tickets together at Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
Football. Something you'd like to see that happened this week, and you want to see them carry forward into the week against the Philadelphia Eagles. The name of the segment is Tote That Thing.
Tote That Thing!
We want to tote something forward, and let me just take a quick drop back and see what my receivers are looking like, who looks open, who looks like they want the rock.
Come on. Ooh, okay. I'll take that right there.
Jesse Holly.
Tote that thing.
For me, I want to see more 5-man fronts. I am enjoying the 5-man front defense that Eberflus has gotten in his bag. He had a multitude of looks last night where multiple people played in this 5-man front. Sometimes you had Jay Toya in there. Sometimes you mixed it up with a little bit of Sam Williams.
One play they had all 4 D tackles.
I love it. I'm loving this new look because you do have a unique special group. You have 3 of those guys that you can put in that interior with Quinnen, with Kenny, and with Osa. They have versatility, and you can move them up and down that defensive line. You can sometimes even go, you know what? If I want to have a certain look, I can start Quinnen on the outside, maybe some other guys mugged up in the A-gap, run some games, run some twists. I think that's given this defense a ton of versatility, and it's going to continue to help those linebackers. And when you start talking about the quarterbacks that are coming down the pike and the offenses that are coming down the pike, you want to be able to give different looks to change. Because when you just line up in the regular, this league is far too advanced for you to just line up in the same thing over and over and over again before they go, oh, okay, gotcha. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to just let you come up the field. We're going to wham you. We're going to trap you. But when you give those different looks, it makes it very difficult for opposing teams' offensive coordinators to get a beat on what you're doing. Now they don't know where if you decide to blitz. You saw last night a couple times. They didn't blitz from it much. But you saw the backers lined up in the A-gaps, like they mugged up in the A-gaps, and then they dropped out for coverage. Well, eventually that's going to be, now you know what? Those guys are coming, and they're coming right up the A-gap, and that get after your quarterback. And when you talked about earlier, Jeff, about Osa and Kenny Clark having more one-on-one situations, that's because you have a dude in Quinnen. So now you continue to just take that and elevate that some more, like allow this to be your front. And we were talking about the guys that were coming back. There wasn't a guy who returned from injury and or brought here in the trade that played bad.
No.
Like Carson played good, Revel played good, Quinnen played good. Logan Wilson played. Like no one that has been in addition to this. Hell, even Malik Hooker, he came back from injury. He looked good, made some plays out there. But it all starts up front. And if you can control the line of scrimmage, when you want to know what and how teams are winning games and championships, is that they win at the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively. And with the addition of Quinnen Williams and now the versatility that you can go with those 5-man fronts, I think that is something that I want to see Matt Eberflus and this defense continue to carry over next week against the Philadelphia Eagles. One of the best offensive line, even though they won't have Lane Johnson, one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Bad quarterback.
That's fine. Bad quarterback. I'm no argument there with me. But Saquon Barkley is still Saquon Barkley, right? And if you give Jalen Hurts time, then he'll give A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith opportunity to go out there and make plays. Let's eliminate that. Let's make him run for his life. And I'd rather have Jalen Hurts running for his life than back there being able to to throw the deep ball down the field to one of those guys. So for me, tote that thing to that 5-man front for the Cowboys defensive line.
Speaking of, you said Carson. He's the only guy that played every defensive snap yesterday.
Caleb Carson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know that Jerry, in keeping with the tradition of his best players, does not know Quinnen Williams' name?
Yeah. It's only right.
He thinks it's Quentin.
It's only right.
So you had Michael, and now you have Quentin. He just likes to add a letter. That's kind of his deal. Drop him back.
We're used to it.
Here we go.
We're used to it.
Here we go.
We are used to it.
Oh, okay, Ali. I'm going to hit you in the face right there, bro.
Tote that thing.
I like that you called out the front because for the first time probably this season, we can call out another thing they did well. Maybe we did it back in week 1 or week 2, but let's talk about this Cowboys run defense from last night. They allowed just 27 yards rushing against the Raiders, 2.3 yards a carry. That's the fewest they've allowed all season and the fewest they've allowed since week 4 of last season as well. Ashton Genty had just 7 yards off 6 carries, 1.2 yards. You mentioned earlier he probably doesn't play football anymore.
If you can't block, don't waste a first-round pick on a running back. Like, congrats, Raiders.
Absolutely.
You watched Ashton Genty's tape, and you went, man, he's amazing. We want him. And
And
you're
the
not
thing
wrong.
is-
And then you brought him in, and it's like, there's nowhere to run. You wasted a first-round pick.
They stuffed him. He had the longest run last night. It was 11 yards. That was their only carry they've allowed of 10 or more yards last night. The rest of the way, he was going backwards because, again, he finished with just 7 yards. They allowed just 0.11 yards before contact. Now we talk about the Eagles, and we'll say the falling apart offense of the Philadelphia.
Yeah. There you go. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
There we go.
Yeah, defense is doing a nice job.
They're 17th in running the football. We obviously know reasons why, but you mentioned Saquon Barkley. You got to respect him still. It's Saquon. He's earned that respect obviously for a long time and what he's able to do. So if they can slow down this run game, because we go back to week 1, they didn't run the ball well against this Dallas defense week 1, but Jalen Hurts still had those 2 rushing touchdowns. So if you can take away what the offense knows that they can do best, which is running the ball, and then you're forcing Jalen Hurts, who, okay, sure, quarterbacks in the NFL have to be able to throw a ball, but can Jalen Hurts make those NFL-like throws? No, he can't. So in this
as long as
case,
it's the first read, he can throw a good ball. Yeah, like, he'll throw a straight post against man coverage. He'll throw a slant. He'll throw an in route. Just let him have to read something, see what happens.
But no, for this Cowboys run defense, we know even kind of going past next week, there's some talented backs still on the schedule, but just to see them and the impact, of course, talk about the impact Quinnen Williams made, just to see that come to play with how they were able to slow down the Raiders running the ball. Because this team, they drafted Genty for a reason, to be able to give him the ball and be that workhorse back and take that pressure off. It has not worked out for them as well. I know they got injuries on the offensive line. That's played a factor in them as well, but things could have gone worse. This Cowboys run defense in the past that we've seen them, Rico Dowdle had over 200 yards. We saw the Bears, what they did, back in week 3, this run defense. So hopefully this is the start in the right direction for this unit to continue to play better.
Thank you, Ali. Just a random note. When I was watching the Eagles play, I believe it was the Packers. I think it was 3-0. They had a 3rd and 12 at like the 20-something yard line, right? So a field goal, it's still a 1-score game. You'd like to make it a 2-score game. They called a handoff. They don't want their quarterback to play in the football game. They don't want him to. I'd like to do a QB keeper.
Okay.
Just going to keep it myself this time, okay?
Jeff Kavanaugh, tote that thing.
Shavon Revel only played, I believe it was 19 snaps. But we talked about all of the new guys or the returning guys. And watching all 19 of those snaps, I want to tell you this. Outside of Quinnen Williams, I think Shavon Revel played the best football of all of your returning, new, throw Kalen Carson in there, guy that's not, he played last week, but kind of returning, throwing whoever you want. Shavon Revel looked a lot better than I thought he might. So I made some notes off of 19 plays. Press man on the outside on Michael Mayer, their second tight end, got targeted on a kind of a back shoulder or a go ball or whatever. Hard to say because Gino just kind of threw it away. But he reroutes him at the line of scrimmage and press man, squeezes him to the sideline, locates the ball very easily, and if it's a decent throw, it's probably a pick, and Revel Sr. would have been all up in the chat.
Where you at, Senior?
A thing that I fear with the tall corner, stopping and then accelerating back downhill at the top of a route. I got to see him do that, and it looked good. Got to see him show hustle on plays that weren't necessarily at him and his willingness to tackle. Good. Passing off routes and being where he's supposed to be in zone coverage. Check. Speed out of the back pedal to the crossing route. When they start working upfield and then they're out of here. That's hard for a corner. It's just a long way to go. And so to see what you would call the click and close, to see it and go, I don't remember which receiver it was. But Revel ain't having a problem going fast. And he's not having a problem getting up to speed fast. They tried a triple move on him. The stop, go, stop. It's my favorite route. Like stop route, and then, it's a stop and go. And now you're running. It's like, no, I am stopping. Covered all 3 of them, which was real nice. And he lined up at all 3 cornerback spots. He played in the slot. He played the right. He played the left. So they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with Trayvon Diggs is eligible to come back this week. He's eligible to. And figuring out what they're going to do. My guess is it's just between Trayvon Diggs or Kalen Carson. Like, Revel's going to play whatever he can play. Bland is going to play. And then it's like, do we want Kalen Carson out there? Do we want Trayvon Diggs out there? And we'll figure it out that way. But the early returns on Shavon Revel, considerably better. 19 snaps, considerably better than I would have anticipated in his first NFL game. So salute to that man.
Can I critique Shavon Revel in one area?
Yeah, come on.
I didn't like
jersey number.
That jersey number.
It is an ugly.
We got Shavon. We have to get you out of that jersey number.
34.
34.
Yeah,
between you and Malik Davis, we had to get y'all out these jersey numbers.
What about 7?
Sure.
What if we put him in 7?
Diggs, come up off that thing. Come up off that.
Doesn't Malik get a pass? I mean, he's always in and out.
No.
I do think to that point, I think Malik Davis shows up because he's been cut 17 times by the Cowboys. When he shows up and they keep elevating him from the practice squad because Jadon Blue is not allowed to play football, I think he's like, I take what you got.
No.
I'm getting a real check.
Hey,
I'm getting a game. I'm
check.
getting a
He's playing
game
the
day
game.
check this week.
That's good enough for him.
Just tuck that check underneath whatever number you give me. I'll take it.
23 was probably available. 25, 27. You could 43 for a running back. Come on, that's stank. And then, come on, Shavon, you were a draft pick. Like, you have options. You could have got a 20 number. Yeah. You could have got. I
hope it turns out that he picked that number for some sentimental reason that's incredibly sad, and then we're gonna replay that. And here's Jesse Holly's reaction to that jersey number selection. I hope that's what it happens.
If it's not some sentimental value for you doing it, let's get you a new number, brother.
We got Carson has been playing much better. Carson, I thought, played between decent and good. Like, he played 60 plays. Yeah. But if you go through it and you're like, ooh, give him separation on that one and that one and that one. Like, it is in there, but made a nice play on the ball. For the most part, I think Carson also better than you would have expected prior to 2 weeks ago when we hadn't heard from him since whenever we saw not good football. So, yeah, things are good. Things are good. A lot of seat belts happening during that game.
A lot of them.
A lot of seat belts.
A lot of them.
Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, I have huge praise for Jerry Jones.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh.
For
really
one
now?
specific thing.
Oh.
Really now?
If nothing else, come back and hear this.
That's next. I want you to sign up to be a diehard, all right? We need you to do that. There's a QR code on your screen if you're watching on YouTube. If not, I'm sure it's in the description. You can find your way to it, or on alldlls.com. Sign up to be a diehard because then you get the hookup. You get everything from us. Ad-free experience on the website, check. Access to our diehard-only level content, check. Being up to date with everything you could possibly want for the 4 major DFW sports teams. Is that offensive to say? I just mean to say that we do have lots of content for those 4.
We do.
I don't mean to disrespect FC Dallas or the Wings, or if we have a lacrosse team or anyone else that could be around. Huh?
Do we have a lacrosse team?
I don't know.
All right.
We might.
No idea.
But sign up to be a diehard, and you'll get access to all of those things, everything you could possibly want about all of your major DFW sports teams right there on one site. Beat writers for every team. We've got you covered. When you sign up to be a diehard, you also get to pick a free T-shirt from the merch store. You could pick the 88 Club shirt. I need about $1.50 out of CD on Sunday. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I need about $1.50 out of CD.
He got to redeem himself.
Because one thing we are not going to do is we are not going to turn our receivers against each other, okay? We're not doing it.
Whose fault is that?
Yeah,
I need about $1.50
I'm
out
done
of
with that argument.
Thank you.
I'm done completely.
I know. It's because we're losing, and that's fine. We're just going
Are we losing? No, we're not.
Look, if you just, if you said who is the better receiver, I just don't want to play the game. Because, yes, right now, George Pickens is playing incredible football. He has physical tools that maybe no one else in the league has. But you are not going to catch me in these streets trying to pull down CeeDee Lamb in any way, shape, or form. That man's a monster, okay? So we're not doing it. Sign up to be a diehard. You also get into our Discord where we've got different little channels for all the different sports teams, one for college football, one for wrestling, which I'm sure there's some Cam Scadaboo talk in there. He was out there doing the wrestling. Sign up to be a diehard. If you don't, I will find you, which is not a threat. It is the DLS Cowboys podcast. It's time for an episode of That's What He Said. And I have big-time praise for Jerry Jones. A lot of praise. And you guys know it's pretty usual for me. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason.
Right. Contribution, though. Are you
did,
praising his?
Did he not go in as an executive?
No.
Oh, contributor.
Contributor. Oh. Now, is your praise for Jerry a contribution praise, or is your praise for Jerry a front office GM type praise?
Jeremy says Jerry must have promised to make a pool payment down to 23.1. Okay, we're at 23.1.
Okay, so last night was profitable.
No, we were still at 23.1. I guess I haven't seen an upgraded statement. We might be down to 23 flat. Okay. We might be. We need to get some super chats last night. Here's what I'm going to praise Jerry for. He was on the flagship, the Fan, and was asked, all right, George Pickens, You got that guy. Can you re-sign George Pickens and have a bunch of money tied up in wide receiver while you have 3 defensive tackles making over $60 million? Is it feasible to build a balanced roster and have all of that? His answer was yes. Yes. He said yes twice. No rambling, no incoherent circumcisions of any insects, no talk of going to truck stops to try to get weird. None of that. Just yes. Yes. I can have George Pickens, Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, Osa, ALLCITY, and I can add to this team. And I try to keep people aware at all times. Jerry Jones won't always be honest with you about what's possible when it comes to team building. Mm-hmm. Remember the yes, because it's true. You can keep all those guys and add more guys. You can do it. They know how the salary cap works, I think. You can do it. If you think you can win the Super Bowl next year, you can do that. And then you could go sign a $30 million player. And then you could go sign a $20 million player because of the way it works. You sign big names the first year, they don't count much. Second year, they don't count too much. There is an eventually. But eventually don't live here right now. Okay? I want them to go on the run this year. I want them to. It's unlikely still, right? They have to lose 1 or 0 games the rest of the way, probably, to make the playoffs. Maybe you could lose 2 if you got lucky, but you probably have to go, we're still, 6-1? Mm-hmm. You probably got to go 6-1.
Yeah.
Going to be tough. 2026 and 2027, that's my Super Bowl window. Do not talk to me about the pie. We will set some pie on fire in 2030 when Dak is gone. We will eat some dead money and some void years, and don't worry about the salary cap terms. It is absolutely possible. And I would just like to praise Jerry for his honesty today.
Well, that's big of you.
Thank you.
That is big of you.
Thank you.
That is a ginormous step.
I would note he's still a terrible GM.
There it is. See, you just couldn't let all be well.
You could have just left it right there.
Right there, yes.
And it has been, John could have cut that and done it all nice up and put a graphic with that and put Jerry sitting on the sideline and or in the booth with a smile on his face. You could have just left it at that.
That's me.
You just tap chest. You could have just left it at that.
That was me.
That was the highlight of the night.
It's my fault.
Yeah, what you said was right.
It's my fault.
It was nice.
Yeah.
From a man that you don't usually say nice things about. And
right.
You just couldn't leave it at that. You just couldn't allow yourself
to
leave it at that.
He seems like a likable person.
He is.
That's about what I can give you.
People love Jerry. And I do believe the way that this season ends will be extremely important to that yes. If this season ends in such a way where you feel like we were on the cusp of something, I think that double yes may have Jerry acting different in the offseason. May have him looking at this thing in your perspective in a way of, boy, 2026 and 27 is the window.
Yeah.
And if we can, especially if the league has another returning year where the parity is all over the board, and there is no real dominant football team right now in this league.
No.
Not even a good one, really.
So stop. If there is a chance that it repeats itself next year, now you're talking about we don't start this thing behind the 8 ball because we come into it with whatever happens at training camp. If you don't start training good players again, that's different. But if you don't start behind the 8 ball and you come into this thing with Quinnen, with your draft picks, with Pickens, with Lamb, and all the other people, because you're going to lose a lot on defense. A lot of guys will be going on defense.
Yeah, but most of them, it's not a big deal.
Right. And so whatever you add into that, now you come out the gates hot. And we don't know what the schedule will be like and how that'll all play out. But you set yourself up to be in a situation where now you're not 3-5-1 or 4-5-1 at the halfway mark. You're more sitting at somewhere where you're 6-2, 5-3, 7-1.
We could tank this up, try to get a 3rd or 4th place schedule. Try to really set ourselves up for success later.
Quote unquote.
So the next couple of weeks, I think when Jerry watches this and he sees it come together the way it did against the Raiders, if it comes together even more against Philadelphia and the Chiefs and so on and so forth, I think this could potentially, possibly, maybe, kinda.
Yeah, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda.
Could, should, and would.
Push Jerry and the Joneses to look at this thing and their approach to free agency tad bit different.
I mean, he's 83. You know what I'm saying?
Tad bit different.
83. You know what I'm saying?
Don't have a long time for a bad time or something like that.
I don't have time for
Ain't
that.
wrong.
I don't have time for a bad time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm here for a good time.
You think he was with CD and George? Sorry,
Could be.
I like that question.
He could have been.
I like what you said, though. I mean, yeah, if they end the season, they got to get 5 more for 9 wins. So if they at least get, let's say, to 9 wins, you know, you're riding this out into next year. Like, all right, we can build off this and next year keep these guys. I think it just makes those 2 first-round picks obviously critically important. Like, that is, I think, the center of all this is you really got to nail those picks.
Trade them for some players, too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, G asked earlier.
Put all the money in
trade
2030.
But no, like the importance of those picks, because knowing you also have a 2nd or 3rd round pick going next year's draft, and if you can get 2 really quality players out of this draft that can make an impact for that, obviously helps out a lot. Knowing that you're trying to tie in a lot of money into these guys, because we all want Pickens to be here. Yeah. Like I know we've had the talk about it. Should they trade him because of X, Y, and Z? But we all want him to be here. We know why. He showed it last night.
Yeah, if he's not here, they're not trying to win.
No, not at all. And so with the time you have left, because we talked about when they traded Micah, like you mentioned, that's punting on Dak's career. Well, now you may have an opening to where you're not punting anymore on his career and CD's career. So, yeah, they do got to find a way to keep this entire team together. But obviously, for a team that hasn't really drafted well in recent years, that's where it really comes down to this.
If Pickens walked or they did some sort of sign and trade, but then they came back in free agency and brought in added
a Pro Bowl caliber player,
another that type of player, maybe
with some pie left over.
Yeah,
maybe in general or a receiver.
I'm talking. For me, I'm saying a receiver, a pass catcher. If they did that, would that still mean to you that they're not trying to win?
No. If you parlay it into, like, when you're not trying to win is when you are flipping good players for draft picks or cap space, right? If you're turning George Pickens into, all right, we didn't want to have all of our money in this one spot, but I am going to spend that money. So I'm going to tag and flip him, and that's going to get me a Pro Bowl right tackle, and I'm going to spend this money on this guy. Then, okay, but don't get rid of George Pickens.
Let's say we're just talking. We're having conversation here, right? Let's say for whatever reason to say, you know what, the George Pickens money is a little bit too rich for me.
Yeah, it's $41 million a year.
Right? And you decide to do whatever it is that you do, sign and trade. But that trade brings back the assets that you bring back. You can go and get
Pro Bowl corner.
Jalen Waddle.
Okay, you just want to replace him with another receiver.
Yeah, I
could with Jalen Waddle.
So you go get whatever the sign and trade is, the money that you have left over, the pick that you get back. You go and you get Jalen Waddle, and then you go and get another player. Would that still look to you as if they're still trying to pursue a championship?
Roster?
Yeah, I think it would, absolutely.
Like that's just a creative way of reconfiguring while not. No, the way that it's a punt is when you trade Micah for picks and you say because of money. Mm-hmm. Like that's like, oh, one of my best players is gone, but don't worry because we are so going to get great players that are going to help us in 4 years. Like that's punting on the present. But if you're reconfiguring to replace that guy with another guy that I think is really good, and I did it for the purpose of being able to spend more money here, which I'm actually going to spend, that's good. But it's not good. Keep George Pickens or else, not a threat. That's what he said. DeMarvion Overshown on his return. First paragraph's fine. The second one's more fun. I was smiling the whole game, doing what I do, and that's keeping the energy up and running around. We played with energy. We played with fire. Felt good. I've been practicing, but being in a game, it's a different thing. Shaking the rust off.
Knocking the dust off.
When you play with the guys I'm surrounded with, they made my job 20 times easier. I didn't have to do nothing special. It's easy. All I got to do is be out there and do what I'm supposed to do. I was talking to Quinnen throughout the whole game. He was like, bro, you ain't got to worry about me. You got me. That's what he was saying the whole game. He was saying, I'm telling you, I'm a dog. They're going to have to block me, and I'm going to get to the ball. So you're going to be free. Just hearing that gets me excited because I know it's a linebacker's dream to play when the offensive guard is not in your face.
Absolutely.
When it was just like, I'm here.
I'm him.
Just run around and do stuff.
I'm him.
Like, it's cool, dude. They going to try to block me with so many people. It's not going to work.
Right.
But they're not going to be blocking you. So just have fun. So it's nice. It's nice having dudes. It's nice to have a dude back on the defense.
It is.
Nice to have a dude. Welcome, Quinnen. Or Quentin.
No,
if you
Quinnen.
want to say the way Jerry did it. Hall of Famer.
His mama named Quinnen. We're going to call him Quinnen.
Best of luck to Michael and Quentin.
And Quinnen.
And the rest of them. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We will see you again tomorrow. Hit the like button on your way out. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
We all silly like the mayor.